Now the real question is, would I ever do this again? And the answer to that, no. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Kinda. Welcome back, or welcome to my channel. Thank you all so much for clicking on today's video. If you're new here, welcome. I appreciate you so much for taking the time out of your day to click on my video. I'm assuming you clicked on this video because you enjoy watching doll restorations, or you just wanted to see which doll I found for $3.99. And I'm here to tell you today that that doll is Mary Ellen Larkin. She's by far the worst used condition doll that I've ever bought secondhand, but she's also the cheapest ever American Girl doll that I've ever found out and about. So I'm really excited to tackle on this fun project and make her look brand new again, because she's either been very well loved or extremely tortured. So with that being said, I hope you all enjoy, and if you're here to learn a couple of new fun tips and tricks that I use to fix up my American Girl dolls, make sure to stay tuned. Now, without further ado, let's stop talking and let's take a closer look at what we're really getting ourselves into. So obviously the first thing we want to tackle first, which is the most important thing to me, is Mary Ellen's face. We're gonna get real up and close and personal with her today. Obviously, it clearly looks like someone tried to fix her teeth and did a really lousy job. I'm assuming the paint in her teeth was fading or cracking, so someone decided to just go in with a white paintbrush and completely fill her mouth in with white paint. So that's probably going to be the most tricky part today, because I've never dealt with a situation like this. Number 2, Mary Ellen has little to no face paint. I would say no face paint at all, but if you look on the right sides of her cheek right here, she has a fairly little bit of pink in her, which means that some of her blush color is still on, which is a plus. Although we will definitely be fixing up her face paint today as well. Thankfully, Mary Ellen doesn't have any marks on her eyebrows, which is super fortunate for me. The next big problem would be her hair. Now, many people, when they see her hair, would automatically go straight to a hot water dunk or grab a flat iron and make her hair straight, but I refuse to let Mary Ellen's curls go to waste. Obviously, Mary Ellen's hair is extremely dry and frizzy, and it looks like there's no getting anything back. But if you look closely, the middle section of her hair actually looks a little bit shiny still, which makes me think that she still has some life in her. And to top it off, she clearly has a little bit of a wave there that we could easily fix and turn it into a curl. I think my favorite part about fixing her up today is going to be cleaning up her body. She is extremely dirty, but I don't think you can tell just how dirty she is, so let's pull out my Mary Ellen to do a side-by-side comparison. As you can see, these are both the same doll, even though they don't look like it right now. I thought it's important to note that the doll on the left is from the year 2014, and my Mary Ellen on the right is from 2016. Obviously, they don't look exactly the same because the doll on the left has been very used. Now, my Mary Ellen on the right is going to be exactly what we're trying to replicate today as far as her lip color and paint. The main thing I wanted to show you guys was the difference in their skin color. As you can see, the doll that I found at Goodwill is very, very dirty, and her skin color looks completely opposite to the original skin color of Mary Ellen. She has quite a couple of marks on her body and even some green and black stains here on her fingertips. As far as her legs, they may not look dirty from afar, but close up they are actually very dirty and covered with marks. Starting off with these marks on her legs, it looks like she has some Sharpie marks, which is a little bit unfortunate because those marks can't be easily removed with a magic eraser. She also does have a couple of random marks here on her thigh, as well as this leg as well. Considering how used this doll looks, her limbs are surprisingly extremely tight. I haven't decided yet whether or not I want to make her limbs even tighter, but I will definitely be taking off her head to get rid of that gap in between her neck. So with all this keeping in mind, let's go ahead and just start fixing her up. Now that she's all undressed, the first step I'm going to be taking today is getting my magic eraser to clean up her limbs. To do that, all you'll be needing is a bowl of water, and I'm just going to be taking a hair tie to put her hair in for the meanwhile. I do not recommend keeping hair ties in your doll's hair for a long period of time. I will also be taking a little clip to pin her bangs back. So now let's get on to cleaning her. I know it may look like I'm putting quite a lot of pressure on her while cleaning up her limbs, but I promise you that it's just because these clips are sped up. Now, I personally never worry about my doll's cloth body getting wet, but I have heard that that can cause molding. I've personally never had that experience, but if you are worried of that, just cover up your doll with a towel and she should be all good to go. As you can see, that black Sharpie mark that was on the bottom of her foot was surprisingly fading away with just the magic eraser. Although to make sure that it's 100% gone, I highly recommend buying acne cream. All you have to do is put acne cream on the spot that your doll has a mark on and cover it in some plastic wrap and leave them outside for over 24 hours, or if you have a UV lamp, that works just as well. I definitely do not recommend you leave your dolls outside for longer than 24 hours, as this can cause the vinyl on your dolls to become squishy. Now you're probably wondering, how am I going to remove that white paint inside of her mouth? And it's actually fairly simple. All you're going to be needing is some nail polish remover and a Q-tip. As you can see, I'm dipping my Q-tip into the nail polish and then gently placing that into her mouth to remove the white paint. For the harder to reach areas like the corners of her lips, I just used a paintbrush. I also used nail polish remover to remove the very minimal pink nail polish that my dolls had on her toes, and as you can see, it went off very easily. I even used this for her hands. Here's a close-up of what she looks like without all that nasty white paint in her mouth. She honestly looks so much better already, and we definitely did a great job with cleaning up her limbs. Are they 100% perfect? Absolutely not, but they're definitely a lot better than where we started. Now, step number 2 after cleaning her body would be taking care of Miss Mary Ellen's hair. This is the shampoo and conditioner that I'm using, but don't overthink this. You can use any single shampoo and conditioner, or you can even use dish soap. Typically, before washing my doll's hair, I like to give them a good brushing, but because of how dry Mary Ellen's hair was, I decided to wash her hair first before I brushed it. It's important to note that I went in with cold water, because if you use hot water, it can kind of give off the same effects of doing a hot water dunk on their hair, which is exactly what we don't want in this case. After washing Mary Ellen's hair for a solid 20 minutes, now I'm going to go into brushing her hair. I know this isn't an American Girl hairbrush, but I'm so tired of these dolls breaking my doll's hairbrushes, so I bought this comb from the Wet n Wild brand, and it honestly works so well. As long as you're using a wired brush comb, it'll work so well on your doll's hair, and you don't have to worry about having such a small handle to brush their hair, which is so frustrating while using the American Girl doll combs. As you can see, her hair is already looking so much better, but once I did that first step of washing her hair, I actually go in a second time to ensure that her hair is feeling a lot softer. I even applied more conditioner to make sure that her ends were way smoother. Next step would be brushing her hair, and when brushing American Girl doll hair, I'm sure many of you know this, but always remember to brush from the bottom to the top. That way you're not creating any unnecessary split ends or pulling your doll's hair out. These are all of the materials I use in order to curl my doll's hair. It's honestly nothing special, but if this is your first time learning how to curl your doll's hair, I do have a separate tutorial that I will be linking down below in the description box. So right here, what I am doing is parting my American Girl doll's hair. Thankfully, American Girl doll wigs are very easy to part, which makes it a lot easier when curling your doll's hair. finished curling Mary Ellen's hair. I know the curls don't look pretty, but all that I care about is what it looks like after I take out the bobby pin, so we're leaving her like this for now. There is one last final step that I like to take, which is using a steamer and putting that on my doll's wig, but not directly. As you can see, I'm doing it from quite far away, and I don't do this for any longer than 40 seconds. I just recently started doing this step, and I feel like it honestly makes so much of a difference once I take my doll's curls out of the bobby pins, as it just makes her hair way softer and it looks shinier in the end. So in the meantime, while we let Mary Ellen's hair dry in the curls, my best friend and I were trying to figure out Mary Ellen's exact lip color, although the both of us were honestly struggling so much, and we honestly just ended up having to go with the color that I was satisfied with and I thought was the closest color and shade we can get to her lips. These are all of the paints that we used to get the color we wanted. I used a washable marker and kind of did an outline of her lips before I went in with the paint, just because for some reason this was honestly terrifying. Like, I was just so scared of messing up, and it was way harder because she had like no lip line whatsoever. So after I did that, I just started going in with the paint, and I felt way more confident now that I could actually see that she has somewhat of a lip on her. This did take about 3 coats to actually get to the color I wanted, so make sure that you're waiting at least around 10 minutes in between, so that way that the paint doesn't become super thick and make her lips look cracked. Of what her lips are looking like. I eventually end up kind of changing them, but now what I'm doing is moving on to her teeth. I'm so sorry that this is like out of focus. I was way too zoomed in. I wanted to make sure you guys could actually see what I was doing, but my stupid thumb was in the way. My advice to you here is just take your freaking time. This makes it look like I got it done super quickly. Obviously the clip is sped up, but I just want anyone to know who's feeling discouraged of how long it's taking them that this took me a while. Although I will say that surprisingly doing her teeth were easier than doing her lips for whatever reason. But something that I was doing that was helping me along the way was I had another paintbrush with alcohol remover on it, and anytime I got a random white line of paint that I didn't like, I would take a super thin brush and use that to kind of clean up her teeth and make it look a lot neater. And now what I'm doing is going in with another coat of that same lip color paint, just because I wanted to look a little bit darker, and now that it was fully dry, it was okay to go over it a second time. I'm also using that same lip color to put some blush on her cheeks, because as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, she had very minimal brushing, but after the magic eraser, she had slim to none. So a little bit of a trick for you guys, which I clearly had to repeat so many times, was instead of just directly putting the paint on her cheeks the way I was, I highly recommend mixing it with some water so that it's a little bit less subtle and not so dramatic. I eventually learned my lesson, but yeah, I kept having to repeat this part because I was either thinking, oh, it's too much paint, oh, it's not enough, it's too pink, it's not pink enough, and then I was just like rubbing it all off completely, you see. So you live and you learn. But yeah, definitely dip your paint in with some water so that it's a subtle blush and not something extremely dramatic. So at this point, I had already finished the 3rd coat of that lip paint that I was using, and now what I'm using to seal it is just some Sculpey Palmer Clay Glaze. You're actually supposed to use Glossy Mod Podge, but I had to think of something else because I didn't have that, and honestly, this worked really well and made my doll's lips look nice and shiny and really helped to seal the deal. Now what I'm doing is loosening my doll's neck strings. This way I can fix that really big gap that she has in between her neck that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. Before I place my doll's head back on, I use the bottom of my spray bottle to help push down the stuffing so that way her head can fit better. Super random, but hey, it works, so that's all that matters. And then this is a very weird angle, but this is my favorite way to help tighten up my doll's head. I hold them in between my legs and then I turn their head around to ensure that their necks are really tight on there with the string. This is so effective and has worked every single time. Doesn't she look so much better after tightening up her neck? There's not that huge gap there. I will insert a before and after picture so you can see how much of a great difference it made in doing that. And now I'm going to go ahead and dress her up in her meat outfit and take out her precious curls. When taking your doll's hairs out of the bobby pins, if you find that the curl looks really weird and in the right direction, all I do is finger curl my doll's hair to the left. It's pretty self-explanatory, but this helps so much and makes their hair look way better. Always finger curl to the left, never to the right, because that's just the way the American Girl doll wigs were made. Now to just do some last finishing touches and bam! She looks so much better and she's truly came such a far long way from where we started. I'm so happy and proud of the result of how Mary Ellen's hair looks. Could it have looked a little bit better? Sure. It was a learning experience, but overall I think she looks so cute. Alright everyone, so that is going to be it for today's video. Let me know down below in the comments how you guys think I did. I enjoyed filming this entire process for you guys and it was honestly so much fun to fix up Mary Ellen. I think that she came out really cute, but I'm interested to hear your guys' opinions, so make sure that you comment them down below. I also hope that this video helped you learn a couple of new tips and tricks in case if you're scared and worried about fixing up a really old doll. This entire video was honestly just such a blast to film and I really hope that I can find another used doll like this to help fix her and bring her back to life. I've said this before, but I really want to start a business where people give me their very used dolls that are looking rough and then I send them back to their loving home looking in brand new condition again. Because not only is it so satisfying to see the process of fixing them up, but it's honestly just so rewarding to know that I was able to do this on my own. And I got to learn a couple of new things along the way. So as always, with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like this video to see more videos like this one and subscribe and join our doll family if you would like to.